What's good, y'all, man? We got an interview with Craig, you feel me, man, on WWDC in the future of OUS, yeah, I said it right, OUS 26. 26. But anyway, man, like it up to my channel, hit the bell if you're new. Got an interview with Craig, man, so I see, because they had like an event going on with Apple. I know what's going on with Apple, man. I mean, you know, not in the bad way, but in the good way. But they got some sided stuff, so, hey, I'm ready to hear it. And I know my people is too. So, yeah. Interview with Craig. Let's see.
Craig, happy WWDC.
Thank you so much.
So I have a question before we get into actually other questions.
Okay.
Have you heard of Labubu's yet?
Just 30 seconds ago was my first introduction.
Yeah, so I don't really know much about this either. I just got into it. I found it on TikTok. This is like with all of the rage. I made her a little tiny apple badge. So she is fully set.
Did she open all the doors at Apple Park?
Maybe. This is my favorite. She takes photos as well.
And got her first WWDC just right out the gates.
It's so true. So it's wild how trends like this kind of take off. So I think that's something fun that we've seen with Apple. Like, you guys are always up on the latest trends. And I love the new 26, the iOS 26.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of going with that trend of the transparent glass. What was kind of that vision for obviously changing the new naming conventions and kind of moving into this all new look?
We've been slowly evolving our platforms. You know, you can only move a platform so fast without having your users, you know, feeling like what happened to my system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Like, that's why Apple like take their time though, because they know like if they go too fast. Like he said though, dang, you know what I mean? Users, you know, cause some people they ain't hip, like they hip, but they ain't hip like they don't want, you know what I mean, too fast. So they like, you know, they got to go slow with it. You feel me?
But over many years, we've moved them to a place where that last step of getting them with a very consistent design language was finally in reach. This was the year. Liquid glass, of course, was one of the
liquid glass. Okay.
For that leap, we were able to achieve a
unified
design. And in a year when we had a unified design, it felt very strange to be talking about iOS this number and macOS this number and tvOS totally different number and visionOS. You know, it was getting very complex, and we wanted to express that for the customer, this is kind of one experience across everything. Took the plunge and came up with a simple name, and you know, from the moment we decided, it was kind of a big, you know, this is right.
No, and it makes sense, and I think now that everything's all unified, it really is awesome. Okay, starting from the intro though, with the F1, you cruising around in the car, with the hair, that was so great. So what was it like kind of filming that? Because you guys do all of these fun things, and I feel like they kind of put you in the spotlight. Like, you're always the one that has to do the crazy stuff.
It is strange when our team comes to me and says that what their
I ain't seen that one.
Division is for this WWDC. I hate to break it to everyone, but my experience of that car was like sitting on a box with a green screen behind me with my hands up like this on nothing, and they're like, okay, like pretend you're looking at something on your lap.
Oh, what? I kind of feel okay.
Right, okay, yeah, good.
But then it was so fun though, kind of going from that experience of knowing what it was like to film it to then seeing that.
Oh yeah, and I saw it for the first time this morning with all of you. I didn't.
No way.
Yeah. So it is kind of a trip. It's amazing what they can do.
Out of all of the things that you guys announced today, was there anything specific that really stood out for you that was like, this is taking us to the next level?
Certainly the single biggest thing is the new design. I mean, this is just something that doesn't come along but once a decade, if that. And so that's huge. But I mean, what a big year for iPad. I feel like for those of us who love iPad and keep wanting to push it further and further, this feels so natural and yet just answers so many of the things that we've all wanted from iPad. Love the new Spotlight on Mac as someone who's hands-on keyboard, wanting to get things done very quickly. Actions, browsing, it's all so powerful. Live translation is awesome. I don't know, there's so many things. And as a developer,
I could translate now to Spanish or
the fact
English, whatever language you got.
With our foundation models, allowing developers to start enriching their apps by taking advantage of AI on the device to make their apps. I mean, that in the State of the Union that happened after the keynote got the hugest reaction from all the developers in the audience when they realized what they were getting, because this is so empowering from them. But what that turns into is these great app experiences for people, and you know, everything they're doing on the device, so that intelligence is now available to them in new ways. So it's a big year. This is all very exciting.
It's always fun, I'm sure, for you too, to see kind of like audience reaction. You know, sitting there, you can see like the cheers, the things that people are getting excited about. So it's so fun. But you mentioned the iPad OS, and I think that was such a huge update. I think that's probably my favorite.
Oh, good.
As you know, a huge iPad fan, to be able to have all of those things integrated and it feel more like you would be using a Mac.
Yeah, you know, I've been living with our new windowing system design on iPad for 8 weeks now, maybe, that it came together enough that it could be my sort of daily driver internally. It feels fantastic. It still feels very much like an iPad. The iPad is a touch-first device, and even as I'm using this multi-windowed interface, I'm primarily interacting with the windows with touch, and yet those elements where things feel familiar from a Mac perspective is just a little bit less of this kind of cognitive overhead of, oh, how do I do it? You know, the window controls, being there on the left and having the colors and mousing over and, oh, there's my... Suddenly, I could always close a window or maximize it before, but now it just feels like automatic, you know? And so these things feel awesome. And then we've just really unleashed the thing in terms of, have as many windows as you want. Don't even think about it. These are just fantastic improvements. So I think for iPad lovers, like apparently you and
I love it.
It's going to be big.
Now, Apple Intelligence, you guys announced so many new things. Now, I know I don't want to bring it up, but I feel like everyone's going to be mad if I don't ask you. So you guys did announce some things last year that didn't make it out this year. So what can we expect kind of in terms of that?
Well, what we said, you're right. Last year, I mean, we spent, I don't know, 40 minutes talking about Apple Intelligence, and there was in the Siri section about many things we did release, typing to Siri, product knowledge in Siri, the ability to deal with disfluency and conversational context. There were a lot of things that were really exciting to get out there, but there are a few things that didn't. And what we said a while ago was that we were really working hard to get those things to come together and had them working internally, but not working well enough. You know, when you have an experience like asking Siri to do something, either it becomes something you can depend on reliably, or it's something in the end you're not going to use. And we were not able to take the approach we were taking to the quality level in the time frame that initially we thought we could. And so we're continuing to build on it. We really look forward to releasing you know, everything we talked about in the past and more. You know, we don't really want to commit to that until we have it in hand.
Right, yeah. I mean, I know for me personally, I'd rather it work than just be like, oh, like, I'm really sad this didn't work well. But you have a bunch of new Apple Intelligence things coming out.
That's fine. I'm hearing good things, man. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know comment below.
Yeah, no, making that just right at your fingertips. And you know, I felt like the gesture that we're all so used to doing of just squeezing those two buttons. So I'm going to take a screenshot and say, now I can do that and say search, do that and say ask, highlight something, get a suggestion, create a calendar event automatically with the on-screen intelligence. I think it's just going to become just automatic. So much intelligence at your fingertips, you know, not switching apps, copy pasting or anything, but just having it right there in the flow of your experience, I think can be so powerful. And I think visual intelligence is really going to bring that this year.
Yeah, and even everything with like continuity, because it's like we're always using all of these different devices. So to have everything kind of have that one central home is pretty awesome.
Not going to argue with you there.
It's so great. Well, happy WWDC 2025. I look forward to seeing you again next year. It'll be great.
Well, thank you. And
she doesn't have a name yet. We can let them name her in the comments.
All right.
Thank you so much. So good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Anyway, man, like it up on my channel, hit the bell if you're new. That was an interview right there, man. Question with Craig. You feel me? Craig be cool though, man. You know, I mess with Craig, man. He cool with it. But yeah though, man. WWDC, feel me? Future iOS 26. Like it up on my channel, hit the bell if you're new. Let me know what y'all think. And yeah, alright, peace.